Hello all and welcome to my video analysis of two middle school band rehearsals. Today I'm going to be analyzing Mr. Blanchard's Bird Band, that's Bird with a Y, performing or rehearsing Anasazi by John Edmondson, and Mr. Skeep's middle school band rehearsing Imperium by Michael Sweeney. First I'll do Mr. Blanchard and the Bird Band with Anasazi. I thought overall it was a pretty good rehearsal. I learned quite a few things from watching Mr. Blanchard rehearse. There were a couple things that I think could have been done better, and there were a few things that I'm not even sure if he was aware of until after he watched the video. The first thing that hit me is you really have a much better view of him than you do of the whole band. I think I was able to see the top of one student's head, and that's about it. So which made it tough to tell if students were engaged without actually seeing them. But anyway, we'll start off with effectiveness. I think Mr. Blanchard was fairly effective in giving out goals. His instructions seemed to be pretty brief. He did do some vocal modeling. He did also give some individual attention to students. But I think possibly his directions could have been a little bit more in depth. And there was one time in the video, around 7 minutes and 30 seconds, where he stopped the orchestra, he had everybody restart again, and he said, oh, that was much better, when really it wasn't. Their entrance was off. Their parts were off by probably the equivalent of a 16th note. So I think sometimes giving away false praise is not a good thing. It was probably a habit on his part, but it's a habit that you shouldn't let yourself fall into. On the video, there was no warm-up at all. I don't know if they warmed up before the video started. They sounded like they fairly knew the piece and could just go right into it. So maybe they didn't warm up at all. But as far as an effective rehearsal, I would definitely not only warm up, but also include that on the video, because I'd want to watch that as a teacher. Let's see, the pace was pretty good. From what I could tell, only from the audio, the students seemed engaged. I didn't hear a lot of fooling around. I didn't hear too many excess notes and things being dropped or knocked over. I think the kids were pretty much focused, and it didn't seem to go too fast as to confuse them either. So I would give them an overall passing grade on pace. Like I said, the students were off camera, so it was hard to tell by a visual. Mr. Blanchard did move around. At one point, he left the podium. He walked out of camera view as well to give some individual attention on the side. When he came back, it seemed to have helped. I did notice that the intonation improved over the course of one rehearsal session, which seems to be a big issue with band directors. So I have to give him a passing grade on that. I think the rhythm and the blend improved as well. Overall, I would say that yes, the rehearsal was a success. The question in my mind is, how good was the band walking into the rehearsal or in previous rehearsals? But overall, I think he did a good job. I think he was a competent teacher, and he definitely improved them, at least in a little bit, from where they started on that rehearsal. Next up, I'm going to go to Mr. Skeep's Imperium by Michael Sweeney. This was a 3-video section strung together. The videos do play automatically from one into the other on YouTube, and I don't think there was even 1 or 2 seconds missing from where one video left off to where the next one began. So I don't think that was an issue at all. I think I'm not really sure why they broke them into 3 videos, but you really wouldn't notice it too much. I was really impressed with Mr. Skeep's. At first, I didn't think it was going to be a very good rehearsal, because the first 2 minutes of the video were just kids kind of randomly playing notes and walking around the room and talking, and I thought, oh, this is the video that we're going to have to watch to learn what not to do in band class. But I was mistaken. As soon as Mr. Skeep stood up in front of the class, he had very good control. He spent about 10 minutes in a warm-up session. That's a little longer than I would have thought somebody would spend warming up, but it was very effective. He practiced on the warm-up. He used the scales that would be used in the song. He also used the scales in harmony with each other, which I wouldn't have thought to do. I've never seen anybody do that before, but they were used the same way sort of in the song. So I think it was good not only for getting kids used to those notes, but for also getting them used to the sounds and hearing those sounds in their ear, where it would go consonant, dissonant, consonant, back and forth. He also had everybody play what I call an echo back. He would model a one measure rhythm on B flat and have the orchestra play it back in concert B flat right after him, so it would make a two measure phrase. And that technique proved to be a very smart move, because in the song there are sections where the orchestra plays rhythmically on one note. So I was pretty impressed with that. Like I said, I thought 10 minutes seemed long, but I think it was definitely time that was well spent. Let's see. How about his pacing? I thought was excellent. He was very animated, very energetic, always moving around the room. He's definitely visually entertaining and drawing as well as orally. He would walk up and down in between the rows, checking out sections to see who was in tune, who was maybe a little out of tune. He modeled on at least 4 different instruments. I saw him modeling trumpet, trombone, low brass, and French horn, and he would also model vocally. So he's definitely got the band gig down. I think the students were absolutely engaged. I thought the rhythms got a lot tighter as the rehearsal section went on, and I thought that as much improvement as you could get out of one rehearsal, I thought he was able to get. I really liked his balance. He even had a breathing exercise at the beginning of class as part of their warm-up, which was something that I haven't done since my choral classes. But everyone did breathe together, and the audio on the video was good enough to be able to tell that. I did have trouble hearing Mr. Sweeney's directions, but obviously the class didn't, because they went right along with what he was saying. I would say overall it was a very, very successful rehearsal. I think he got about, if I had to grade him, I would say he's definitely in the above 90 percentile on that rehearsal. He got everything together. Everybody was playing. Everybody was engaged, and I think he got about as much improvement as you could get out of any one rehearsal session. He did a great job modeling. He did a great job describing, and everybody seemed to respect and like him. So I definitely give him thumbs up. I would call him the winner out of the two, and that's my video analysis of Mr. Blanchard and Mr. Skeep's middle school band rehearsals. Thank you.